Yeah, you're right. It's you don't plan it. It comes along. I'm very proud of it that been able to last in the game, I suppose. But more importantly, there's so many people that contributed, and that's why I'm reluctant to talk too much about it. It's such an individual thing, but there's a lot of people that actually played a part, particularly my family, and people from all clubs that I've been associated with. All were fantastic and helped and made some great friends, and very, very few negatives out of it. But you know, I'm not really comfortable with it, because if we're sitting in a really good, strong position, I suppose then we can elaborate, but becomes too individual when the stakes are so high. Players are the same. They're all young men, want to make it. Clubs are different because it's now so much more professional, more money in the game. When I walked in, it was VFL, now it's AFL. I think the president's had control, now it's a commission. It's vastly different. Every club you go to, every week has a challenge, whether it be trying to continue to win games or to get sides in the finals or whatever it is. This is just it's another week in the working life of a football coach. You have your own demons, if you like, that, you know, we've lost the last two games narrowly. We play the reigning premiers. It's a great opportunity for us to bounce back. They're the same conditions virtually right through your career. You might have a little bit of respite when you have five or six on end, but basically you're under. I always maintain that the only way I operate at my best is under pressure, and that's, you don't sit back and have any comfort. You don't want comfort from. You want the intensity to be increased and to stay there, because that's when I know that I can get my best out of my players, and I want my players to treat every game as it's what it's there for, and that is to win the game of football for their football crowd, their football supporters, and their football club. It's got nothing to do with it. I'm intrigued by win-losses about coaches. I don't step onto the ground, nor does the opposition coaches. Your team does. Your best, and I get frequently asked this question: who's the hardest coach to coach against? It's simple. The one of the best side. He's the hardest to coach against. Names are incidental. It's really, I have great respect for any coach, and that's just something that I've always. I've had two great masters prior to coaching. One was the late Alan Jones, and the other was late Tom Hafey, who both taught about respect. And I always have respect for my opponents, and then the job is to get the players to play to their maximum against a side that is, regardless of where they are in the ladder. So don't ever treat anyone other than a champion. And if you do that, then you don't lose respect for the game. You don't lose respect for your opposition. You know you're in for a tight one, regardless. If you win by 10 goals, fantastic. If you don't, if you have that attitude running down the road, you're going to win by 10 goals, you straight away have a disrespect for your opponents. I'd like to think that all my players that run in the race have a fundamental love of the game, because we teach them about the game, a deep respect for their opponents, regardless of who they are, and a win at all costs that are legal, and remember it is a sport. And when the game finishes, it still has to be on a sporting mandate, if you like, nothing else. So, shake hands with your opponent. And whether you do it before the games, that's up to you. But after the game, that's what the game's all about. So in this terms here, it doesn't matter who's coaching the opposition, I have respect for them and their team. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He didn't slay them with possession rate, but what he did was get through the game. And that was most important for him. He said to me before he went on the last training session last week was he knew that he had to get through the match. And it wasn't a matter of being 60% and then finish. It was a matter of getting 60% per quarter. So it was actually out there for the full 4 quarters. And that was designed, and we got him through that. Now, he may have done a tick more, actually, but nonetheless, it was so important he did that. Now, the only thing that'll stop him now is how he pulls up. This is officially our first training session. Well, we've had more, but this is our biggest training session. If he gets through that, I don't see any reason not to pick him. Oh, well, until we see our list, we won't be doing anything until the Saturday. You saw last week, but he got through the game. He played very well. He's down a little bit in confidence. He'll be the first to admit that. He really is busting his boiler to get things up and running. And this is not a swipe at anything and anyone by any stretch of the imagination, so please just take it the way it is. He made a fantastic tackle on the wing and rolled the player over, dispossessed him to a point where... dispossessed him and then got pinged in the back. No need for this.
I wanted to obviously organise this today, so 700 games of coaching, so congratulations, mate, and all the boys.
Oh, thank you. All the things that you try not to do, and there it is. So 007 or 007? 007.